What's going on, guys? JPB Duel here. Hope you guys are enjoying your Wednesday. And for today's matchup, I'm bringing you a PrankKids versus a SwordSoul matchup with my opponent playing SwordSoul going first. Now, mind you, this is a matchup that was before the Adventures Token Pack got released, but this was a really good gameplay, so I wanted to show you guys how I played through my opponent's big board with only 2 cards of my PrankKids. And of course, what do you expect from SwordSoul players? They always start with the best hand possible, always start with a combo starter card or a way to go into their combo. These guys never ever break. So once I know the SwordSoul emergence goes through, he has full combo. What I did not expect was him having a Protos in his hand. So now I know my opponent's end field will be a Baron de Fleur on the field, plus a Grandmaster, plus a Protos Dark Clock on the field. Now I do have my outs to this field in my main deck, namely my Kaijus, maybe even a Raigeki if I manage to bait out his Baron de Fleur's Omni, or even let's say a copy of my Thunder Dragon Fusion or Instant Fusion to allow me to go into my combo extension. I did have my outs, so let's see what I draw into. I draw into a copy of Lamses, not that useful, and on top of all of that, if that wasn't enough, my opponent had a Maxi in his hand. So once I see the Maxi go through, I know what the play I have to make is. I have to bait out the Baron de Fleur's Omni with my crossout. I was expecting that. Then I activate my PrankKids plays. I will search for a card and then set down one of my Lamses, set down my Pandemonium, end my turn. My play was that I will go into a Weather Washer on my opponent's turn and tribute the Weather Washer, putting 2 cards on the field, immune to destruction through battle for that turn only. Now there was one kink in my plan. The kink was that if my opponent draws into a combo starter card or a way to search for a combo starter card, I lose the game. As long as he goes into BAXIA, we lose. So that was the only kink in my plan. So let's see what happens. Baron de Fleur obviously going to target the face down set, so I have to pop open my Pandemonium right now. Then go into my Weather Washer. As I said before, that was the play I had mapped out in my head as soon as I saw the Protoss Dark Clock and I did not draw into a card to out my opponent's field. With that, we activate Weather Washer, putting 2 cards on the field, immune to destruction through battle for that turn only. Now mind you, I am marking the cards that are immune to destruction through battle with my PrankKids plays attack boost, so my opponent knows exactly which cards he has to destroy to kill me this turn. Now sadly, this guy started with a combo starter card Searcher, which was the emergence, searches for Taya. So far so good. Now if you go into your BAXIA with Taya, you get 2 bounces. If you go into BAXIA with Moye, you only get 1 bounce. So searching for Taya was the right play my opponent did. But now my opponent is going to miss lethal. He does not know what Weather Washer's effect is, first of all, otherwise he would have targeted one of the PrankKids cards that were immune to destruction through battle and bounced them. Now, the way that my opponent had to lethal me, I'll tell you guys right now, he could have used the BAXIA to bounce either one of these cards, okay? He just needed to bounce one of them, and then the second card he had to pick was the Fancies. And then he could just Protoss lock me out of either Earth or Fire. So whichever card he did not bounce with BAXIA, he could lock me out of, and then that card would be destroyed. With that, he could just use the BAXIA, kill off this card, and he would have enough damage afterwards to kill me. This guy would have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8,000 plus damage, and then he would have easily killed me. But the card this guy chooses to bounce are the 2 most useless cards on the field. The face down set Lamses plus the PrankKids plays. And then Protoss locks me out of Earth, does not matter to me. This card, immune to destruction through battle, sticks on the field, which allows me to live and then push into my opponent, and I am going to end up wiping his whole board aside from 1 single Protoss on the field. So let's see if you guys figure out how I could use these 2 cards on the field that I currently have. Let's say I don't even have Dropsies right now. I drew into my PrankKids plays. How can I use my Lamses on the field and the PrankKids plays to completely kill off my opponent's board aside from the Protoss that he currently had on the field? Let's see if you guys figure it out. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys figure it out. So I normal out dropsies, go into my doodle-doo. My whole play in my head was I go into doodle-doo, activate the 2 graveyard activations of my PrankKids, and then I know my opponent is going to negate my doodle-doo search using the Grandmaster. But the card he chooses to banish was the SwordSoul Blackout. So this guy ends up getting a token as well, a Synchro token with a tuner token, excuse me, on the field because of the banish of the SwordSoul Blackout. But it does not matter to me. I know I'm logged out of Earth, so I'm not going to special out Roxy's on the field. Special out Fansies plus Lamsies, and I decided why not just go into Predaplant. Now with this Predaplant, I had access to both my Butler and my DPE because I had all the cards I needed for the Butler combo in the graveyard. But if I went into Butler, I will only be able to out 2 cards on my opponent's side, and on his turn, he could lock me out of wind monsters and my Butler dies off. This card is immune to destruction through card effects, so if I go into Butler, I would have to kill this card first, and after that, my Doodle-Doo cannot kill off any other cards. So I decided I have to go into DPE over my Butler. So that's what I do, go into my DPE, and then with the DPE, once it hits the field, I go instantly into battle phase. First of all, we have to get rid of the Baron de Fleur because it has a effect of sending itself to the graveyard in the standby phase. Then we have to kill off the Grandmaster because it can negate our DPE in our opponent's turn. And I have to kill off the BAXIA as well because it can pop itself and give my opponent a combo starter card on the field. So I killed all those cards, left him with the PROTOS. I know he could still PROTOS lock me out of Dark and my DPE would be gone afterwards, but I was okay with that. Standby phase on my opponent's turn, my DPE comes back, and as expected, he locks me out of Dark monsters. It's okay, not a big deal, we could play through this anyways. Now if he used his PROTOS to attack into my Doodle-Doo, I was okay with that as well. He would be left with not a single card on the field, so did not matter to me. My draw phase, I drew into my Lamsies, so I used my Dasher's special to special out the Lamsies on the field. Then I activate Celestial, banish, draw 2 cards. Now this Radiant, it was pretty useless, but the other card I drew into, the Polymerization, means that now I have access towards my totally awesome combo. So even if I was able to Kaiju my opponent, I would not be giving him the Kaiju because the PROTOS is already down to 1500 attack points. My Doodle-Doo can easily bump over that PROTOS, kill it, and then I could push in for more damage as well. So as I said, going into my totally awesome combo, we are gonna tribute one of our Doodle-Doos, pull out the Pandemonium because that way we will have our Butler combo on our opponent's turn as well. With this poly, I end up going into Rocket Ride, and once my Rocket Ride hits the field, once I use my PrankKids plays, I first go into battle phase because that is the most amount of damage I could have put on the field at a single given point in time. So I first go into battle phase, kill off the PROTOS, and then hit my opponent in the face with the Rocket Ride. Then go into main phase 2, then we go into our totally awesome combo. Now we have 2 level 2 Aqua monsters on the field, namely our 2 Dropsies. That goes into totally awesome, and we get our Bow Wow Bark on the field as well. This way, I could activate Bow Wow Bark on my opponent's turn, get my Fansies plus Lamsies. Totally awesome gives me my Dropsies. I go into my Butler. And as soon as my opponent draws a card, he just outright scoops. He knows he doesn't have a chance anymore. That's going to be the end of the game, guys. If you guys do like this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing to my channel for more daily PrankKid video uploads, and if you guys are interested in the live version of all of this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpbduel. Link along with my schedule is going to be in the video description itself for you guys to check out. This is JPBDuel signing out for today. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace!